In today's video, I want to talk about Cécred hair care. Hello everyone, como está café? It's Jasmine, and Beyonce came out with this new hair care line and I was so close to buying it. I'm talking like the credit card was in my hand and I was on the website already about to put in my billing information, and then Mr. Man walked past. He was like, "What you getting?" And I told him I was getting Cécred and that it was Beyonce's hair care line. He was like, "Okay, that's what's up. How much is it?" And then I actually told him it was about $30 to $40 a pop for the specific thing, and he was kind of like taken aback by the price. And so he ended up asking me if it was vegan and clean, and I admit that I did not check for those sorts of things. I wanted to just review the product so I can get the views. I understand that that wasn't the best way to approach it, and I'm really glad that he kind of reeled me in and reminded me of what my ethos is.
And my man, thank you to my man.
So I wanted to take a different approach to this hair care line because I'm not really sure if it is the right kind of hair care system for me. Before even considering purchasing the product, I have to ask myself, is it vegan? Is it cruelty-free? Is it even clean? I actually want to look at the FAQs because that can usually tell me if their products are vegan or cruelty-free or not. Interestingly enough, one of the first questions posed on the FAQs is, are Cécred products clean? There's no standard definition of clean. Our definition of clean is that we are cruelty-free and formulated under strict global guidelines for ingredient safety. We are formulated without aluminum salts, animal oils, musks, fat, artificial dyes, benzophenone related compounds, butylated hydroxyanisole BHA. Lord child, if you are interested in learning more about clean beauty, the products you should avoid, the products you should definitely lean into, I actually have a free clean beauty guide. I'll leave it in the description box down below. It is completely free. I am impressed with Cécred actually addressing this in the first question of the FAQs. If you ask me, not many people talk about whether products are clean or not, so this was a really nice thing. Another FAQ, does Cécred test on animals? They say, no, we don't test any of the products on animals. We are committed to being cruelty-free and are PETA certified. Is the packaging recyclable? All bottles are recyclable. Currently, our caps are recyclable through a small piece recycling program like PACT or PACT. All secondary packaging and boxes are FSC certified, ensuring they come from responsibly managed forests. I like the fact that they do not have a lot of the well-known harmful ingredients that are found in conventional and drugstore brands. So on the website, you can take a hair quiz so that you can find the best products for your hair. The products that they recommended to me, the first was a hydrating shampoo. The second was the clarifying shampoo and scrub. And the third thing they recommended was the fermented rice and rose protein ritual. I already looked into the fermented rice and rose protein. It does have honey in it, so it is not vegan. So I am going to pass on that. And if I ever want to do a rice protein treatment, I can always just soak some rice in some water and rinse my hair with it. I don't necessarily need to do the rice protein treatment, but I am going to be focusing on the ingredients on the hydrating shampoo and the clarifying shampoo and scrub. Whenever I want to find out if products have ingredients that are harmful, I usually go to ewg.org, and they have a in deep database where you can actually paste any ingredient you do not know, understand, what have you, into their database, and they're able to tell you if the products are harmful or not and why a product may be harmful or not. I'm basically going to type in any of the ingredients I don't understand into the system. With the hydrating shampoo, the first ingredient is water. That's always a good thing. One of the things that I noticed is that they have fragrance in the ingredient. Fragrance is very tricky because fragrance isn't regulated, and a lot of fragrances are endocrine disruptors. What does that mean? That means it can affect your reproductive system. That's not a good thing, especially if you're someone who is trying to conceive, having trouble conceiving, maybe fragrances in your product. So definitely look into those sorts of things if you are having trouble. Do I shy away from fragrance? Not all the time. I'm gonna keep it a buck. A lot of times I look at where the fragrance is placed in the ingredients, right? So the first ingredient is usually the ingredient that is the most prominent, and the last ingredient is the ingredient that is the very smallest of ingredients. So the fragrance, this hydrating shampoo, it is not the last thing on the list. I mean, I wouldn't say it's super concerning, but I would have liked if the fragrance was the very last ingredient, to be honest with you. And something else I noticed here, they have caramel. I've never seen a hair care product with caramel in it. I've always seen caramel in food products. I don't know what that's supposed to do. I end up looking at all the ingredients for the hydrating shampoo off camera, and for the most part, everything seems to be on the up and up. There are some things that I want to point out. The first thing is that the hydrating shampoo isn't vegan, or wouldn't be considered vegan by vegan standards. It does contain a lactobacillus / honey / keratin ferment. Honey is from the bees, therefore it is not vegan. Now it is vegetarian. Now there are some vegans who don't consider honey as an issue, being that the bees aren't being hurt, but we are taking from the bees. So that's something to consider. There's an ingredient here called sodium phytate. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but when I looked it up on the system, it showed up as another name, CI 42090, also known as FDNC blue number 1 or DNC blue number 4. This has a bad rating on the EWG Skin Deep database. It says here that this ingredient scores higher if used in products intended for damaged skin due to increased risk of absorption. So if your scalp has open wounds or is damaged in some way, you should definitely think twice before actually putting it on that part of your body. This ingredient scores higher if used in products intended for use around mouth, so you don't got to worry about that. FDNC Blue 1 is a synthetic dye produced from petroleum. This dye is FDA approved for use in food, pharmaceuticals, and cosmetics. So there are other concerns here. I'm just going to read it off. Use restrictions. Neurotoxicity is low, endocrine disruption low, persistence and bioaccumulation is moderate, non-reproductive organ system toxicity moderate, multiple additive exposure sources low, irritation in the eyes, skin, or lungs is moderate, and contamination concerns are high. I end up looking at the ingredients for the clarifying shampoo and scalp scrub. So sodium hydroxide can be a moderate hazard in high concentrations, but it is not at the very top of the ingredient list, so I don't think there's any concern there. Water, first ingredient, that's good to know. Microcrystalline cellulose, that's actually really great. According to the FAQs, this is a wood-based micro scrubber. I like the fact that there is no added fragrances in here. They're really letting the essential oils of tea tree and rosemary and lemon peel act as the fragrance. I see peppermint oil here as well. I also like that there's niacinamide in here. I actually use niacinamide, every once in a while on my face. So it's very interesting to see that here. The hydrating shampoo didn't have fragrance. I would be gung-ho. Yeah, it does have honey, but that's not a deal breaker for me that it has honey. But it does have fragrance somewhat in the middle. So that is concerning to me. But these ingredients in the scalp scrub is actually really good, and I would actually be interested in purchasing these scalp scrubs. So I'm really glad that I looked up all of the ingredients on here, because now I feel comfortable and confident that what I'm using on my skin, on the largest organ, on the organ that absorbs the most, that I'm using products that are beneficial and not harmful to me or my body.
Future Jasmine here. I wanted to share a video of a TikToker who is actually a beauty chemist who goes more in depth on Cécred, and I wanted to share with you his thoughts on this line.
Not you should buy it now or wait for the full formal reviews to come out in a couple of weeks. So all products in this line are between $30 to $45, which puts this in the prestige price category along with Kerastase and Briogeo at Sephora. First, let's look at the clarifying shampoo that retails for about $42. I like that the main surfactant in this shampoo is sodium olefin sulfonate. It's also the main surfactant in my current favorite clarifying shampoo by K18, and it really does a good job of getting the hair clean and sets up really well. Beyond that, it has co-surfactants cocamidopropyl hydroxysultane, which is a gentler version of cocamidopropyl betaine, and sodium cocoa isothianate, which is also a really good foam booster. But the most interesting thing about this formula is the microcrystalline cellulose. So beyond actually cleansing the hair, it contains small beads that exfoliate the scalp. By the way, there's also niacinamide in pretty much half of the product line, so if you're sensitive to niacinamide, this is not the product line for you. Next is their hydrating shampoo. It has a nice gentle surfactant and a couple of cationic ingredients, polyquaternium 7 and 10. These two ingredients are what make it feel hydrating, but if you have thin hair, this may not be the most suitable product for you because polyquaternium 7 and 10 can tend to build up and weigh down the hair if it's really thin. And this, I believe, retails for $30. Next is their $42 hair oil, which I'm not really impressed with. And that's because the main oil is sunflower oil. Now, I do like that this is one of the few hair oils I've seen on the market that actually has oil as the first ingredient. But I wish it had something more exciting besides sunflower and coconut oil that you can get at the grocery store. Because remember, this is $42. To me, it needs something a little extra so it's not just expensive Hollywood beauty you can get at the beauty supply store. Next up is their treatment mask, which is mainly made up of cetearyl alcohol and soybean oil. So more of a thicker formula. Again, not suitable for fine, thin hair. And for my own hair, personally, I'm not a fan of soybean oil because it just tends to sit on top. But your mileage might vary.
There are some things that I kind of want to touch on, right? Because there are some folks online who wish that Beyonce tested these products out on her hair, kind of like what Rihanna did with Fenty. Like, she's always on the red carpet touching up her makeup in Fenty, everything Fenty, Fenty this, Fenty that, Fenty to the world, right? Beyonce really doesn't do that sort of thing. It would be nice to see her trying out the products on her hair. Hopefully in the future she can, hopefully in the near future she can. I myself like seeing when the creator uses their products and how they use their products. I think that would make her hair care line sell even more. But yeah, Beyonce, talk to us. That's all that I have to report. I'm going to pass on the hydrating shampoo. I'm passing on the rice fermented water ritual, but I will probably be getting the clarifying shampoo and scrub, so stay tuned for that. And also I like the fact that like the first 5 ingredients doesn't contain any oils or butters, and I'm kind of trying to do this like no oil no butter situations. Are you guys planning to get Cécred? If you guys have purchased Cécred, let me know how you like it, because I'm curious to know how people with locks do with these hair care products, especially the scalp scrub, because especially with the fine granules, how well does it rinse out from your hair? You know, I'm curious to know. Let's have a conversation, and hopefully the Beyhive does not come for me in this video, y'all. I mean no harm, I mean no disrespect. I'm just making sure that these ingredients work for me. I want to thank you all so much for watching and supporting and subscribing to my channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.